Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
All right, have a look at some of the celebrities who have undergone cosmetic surgery or plastic surgery, as they call it. And what do you notice? Most of the time, they 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 do their best to look younger. In some cases, it may work. Like Tom Cruise, he has undergone a little bit of surgery here and there. If you compare his face, I'm pretty sure Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone have had undergone surgery during the younger days. That's why Sylvester Stallone, his jaw, he used to go that way. If you see his Rambo movies, and Arnold, his face, his facial structure, look at it when he was young versus later on mid during his movie time. And then obviously you have females. The most notorious of the lot I can think of is Pamela Anderson. Madonna, I don't know what the hell she has done to herself. Just Google search Madonna in the 80s versus Madonna today. I mean, it's so evident that she has undergone plastic surgery, and it's just backfired instead of aging gracefully. And then you have on my Facebook feed, I just got this, Salma Hayek. Oh, she's stunning in a bikini, even though she's 58 or whatever. And then they give Elizabeth Hurley, oh, look at her, she is so immaculate. And even you have artists like Cher, Cher, Cher. Oh, she's with her toy boy and all that. Okay, so why are they doing this and for what? It's obvious they are trying their level best to still stay relevant. Okay, how they were when they're young. Like Madonna was this sex goddess, this sex icon. Like, I mean, literally every guy wanted to, every guy would fantasize about her, would want her. And it kind of leaves a void, when from being the most desired woman, today nobody wants you. Even men, for that matter. I'm pretty sure if you Google search, there will be quite a number of men who once upon a time were absolutely desired. Like, what's his name from Pretty Woman? Can't get his name, man. Richard Gere. Yeah. And then you have the British actor from Notting Hill. What's his name? Notting Hill. Let me just get it for you. N-O-T-T, Notting Hill. What's his name? Hugh Grant. Yes, Hugh Grant. So you have all these actors who, during their young age, or celebrities, they were absolutely like so desired. People would melt, literally. In fact, the most infamous one I can think of is Michael Jackson. I mean, see how he was when he was young. He was a very handsome looking man. What did he do to himself? He became this pale white ghost, and then his nose became like he looked like a I don't know, like someone drew a cartoonish figure, caricature, and they wanted to make fun of him. He looked like a pale ghost, like a monkey or something, like, it didn't look real. So the reason people do this is because they want to turn back time. Okay, turn back, age. And you will not only see this with celebrities, you'll see this with the people that you know and interact with. Or, just check social media nowadays. What do females do? I sometimes find it so shocking when I see some females, they have undergone, Botox, or they have undergone surgery. And some of them have to do it because they want to stay They still want to stay relevant. They don't want to look old. In fact, have you heard women? This is especially in the Asian community, Indians. Um, if a child says to a lady, "Auntie," this is don't call me auntie, Or have you heard? Or this is a fact. If you ask a female her age, there are many of them who are not comfortable giving the age. It's like saying that asking a man his salary. So women take it very personally. Okay, so we have seen this in women. What about men? Have you noticed most of the men, um, like Jeff Bezos? Have you seen his before and now? Have you seen Elon Musk? Like how he looked when he was losing hair and that face that he had versus now, full hair. Joe Rogan, he takes TRT. Okay. Then you'll see so many athletes who literally, like, they claim to be natural. Like the most infamous among the men is Mike O'Hearn. He's 50 plus, 55. His body is like a Greek god, but he claims he's natural. Why do men take steroids? Why do men take TRT? Why, or in fact, why do some men, old men, really, really old men, have a super fast, expensive uh, car? Or why do some of the old men have a girl who's old enough to be their granddaughter? Like Al Pacino has, he's, I think, 80 or 90, he has a girl, I think, in her 20s or something, 20s or 30s. Why do so many, like in Thailand, you have these foreigners who come here, they're called sexpats. They're coming here to meet, like they're pot-bellied, hairy, like they don't even have a neck. Some of them are like hardly walking like a grandfather, but they'll have a young girl with them. Why? They are trying to relive their youth. They are still horny. They know that in Europe and nobody would give a damn, nobody would look at their face. So they come to these Eastern countries where they know their purchasing power, their dollar or their, pound, British pound, has more purchasing power and they can spend a little more. And a girl who is from the village would not be so expensive. So they get a young one. So why do they do this? Because because it's one simple word: midlife crisis. Okay. Um, you would see that in your family where your father or your uncle or someone is very bitter. Like they might have been very dynamic when they were younger, but now after they lost their job or they got laid off, or they're very, I mean, very difficult to talk to. Some of them keep nagging and some of them keep complaining. But it's not all that bad. Huh? It's not that only bad examples are there. There are some good examples where, you have people who try to rediscover themselves, go for training or go for losing weight, or they try new lifestyle or they try new diets. Some work, some fail. Or there are others who literally take on a spiritual route, where they try to find God, or they try to do charity for others, or, they say goodbye to their old ways of smoking, drinking. Like Snoop Dogg, lately, the father of smoking weed, it seems he has given up weed. The people give up alcohol, smoking. Some change their ways. Like, for example, me in my 20s versus now. Before, I was a playboy, literally wanting to sleep with every possible girl, show off on social media, have friends, literally go to the gym, inject myself with steroids, when I wanted to look bigger. Uh, Absolute. Who's come? There's a delivery guy come. Is it for me? Give me a second. No, it's not mine. Okay. So, it's like I would literally get my salary, and within a few minutes, not even hours, within a few minutes, everything would be spent off. I don't know if you can hear my dog barking. It's kind of irritating. Oh, wait. One second. Give me. Oh, yeah. Sorry. This was a delivery that my wife ordered. That's why I was not expecting it. Okay. Anyway, like, so what was I saying? This is one of the challenges of being, living alone. You get unpredictable disturbance. Okay, so what I was telling you was, when I would earn my salary per month, end of the day there would be nothing. I mean, it would just take me a few minutes to spend it, or to pay my bills, the rent, water, electricity, and before I know it, the rest of the money was meant to enjoy and have fun, and I would live far beyond my means. Spend on the credit card. Even if I could get an easy loan or an easy card, I would take that option. And obviously, friends and going out and movies and all that. So that's what I did when I was young. Today, however, absolutely opposite. People who know me from my younger days, and when they see me now, they can't believe. Many of them cannot believe. Like before, I, a girl had to just say hi or I want to meet you. I would be ready to travel almost 100, 200 kilometers drive just to meet her, just to possibility of even sex, I would tell the girl, if we are going to meet up, we're going to meet up for sex, fine, then I'll meet you. It was that crazy. Today, even if a girl comes at my door and I'm alone, and I would say no. Spending money, whenever I earn anything, immediately the first thing is savings, and even when I purchase something, I ask myself, do I really want it? Friends, I don't want to keep any. Relatives, I don't want to see any. Going out, if there's a movie, unless it's a movie that you must watch in the theater, like an Avatar or a movie like Endgame Avengers, which you must see on the large screen. Most of the other movies I prefer to see here. Before, I used to eat like crazy, like no one else's business. Today, obviously, after my surgery and lifestyle change, today I eat as little as possible. Just enough where I'm happy. Um, and even sleep. Before, there was no concept of sleeping on time. Today, I take multiple naps and I have to sleep because others I cannot function. Before, I didn't need to, like, I could sleep for 2 hours and work the whole day. And, a typical work day would be go to the office, okay, get up in the morning. Then after that, go to the gym. Then after that, randomly plan to go watch a movie, and then randomly plan to go to a nightclub, or they're saying be with the friends, and then randomly plan to have sex with the girl, and then before you know it, hardly maybe 1 or 2 hours would be left, and still we would be going out to McDonald's or a Burger King or something, and then with only few minutes of sleep, go to work the following day. And I could literally do this for 3 days, 4 days back to back. And but today if I don't sleep properly, if I don't get my proper 8 hours sleep, I find it very hard to function the next day, or 8 hours or 7 hours or whatever, 6 hours, and I have to take naps in between the day. So the point I'm trying to make you understand is we all go through a midlife crisis, okay? And the midlife crisis is a very critical point. It is something you just can't avoid. It is like when I was in my 30s and I used to think about midlife crisis, I used to ask myself, what is this midlife crisis? Oh, it's only for old people, It's only for people who are like lost. It's only for people who don't have anything to look forward to, or losers, or people will be very sad. That's not the case, actually. The reason, according to me, I'm not saying on a scientific this thing, but according to me, the reason why this midlife crisis, or this after 40, the reason why we question is because we realize that, if you look at a life where you live your life, say 80 years is, for example, 80 years or even 70 years is standard, you have reached the midpoint of your life. And then you realize, sheesh, man, I finished 40 years of my life, I have another 40. And if you were to divide it hypothetically, that 40 years, let's say you divide them into half. So 40 is 2020. So I can work maybe another 20 more years till the age of 60, and then it's mandatory retirement. And after that, from 60 to 80, I'm just living off my savings and the mercy of other people. So then you think, oh, sheesh, I have 40 to 60. So if you divide it again, it's 10 years. Then you'll think, if I have to get a promotion or if I have to make more money, it's only up to the age of 50. After 50, the chances of getting a promotion is slim to zero. And people would say, I can get someone cheaper than you. So only 40 to 50 is what you have. And then when you have 40 to 50, if you divide it half again, you know for a fact that the only maximum viable chance for any change or whatever is 40 to 45. That is why people, when they have to migrate, they have to do it before 40. People, if they have to have a child, they have to have it before 40. If they have to settle down somewhere or try something new for the last time, it's before 40, because after that, the dynamics change completely. So you begin to look at life in a very practical manner. You tend to be very realistic with yourself. I know so many people, from myself to my clients, who in their 20s thought they could become millionaires, billionaires, become movie stars, have sexual escapades and sexual romps left, right, and center, and their goals were to buy a Lamborghini, Ferrari, Bentley, Rolls Royce, have multiple houses, multiple businesses, have the hottest girl or the best perfect male or in their life. But then after 40, even your physical body is not the same. Like literally getting up in the morning, your back will ache, your knees will pain. Climbing up stairs can be an effort if you're not keeping yourself fit. So there are so many variables that come in, so many variables. And the worst part is getting sick. Diabetes, blood pressure, heart-related issues, cholesterol, and because of your decreasing testosterone, you start putting on weight, and women go through the menopause, and finally after that, they can't give birth. So all these factors come into a midlife crisis. Okay, and we all go through it. All of us go through it. So what is the solution? Now, see, given the fact that I'm a coach and trainer, people book my services for advice and guidance. Um, they want an opinion. Now, obviously, I'm not 80 years, so I can't give them. Uh, okay, this is what I did in my 40s, but I give them a practical, logical uh, opinion or solution or suggestion, and that is why people, I guess they come to me. And how did this come about? Is when you spend time reflecting, when you have suffered. It's only if you go through suffering do you become wise or you learn things. Because remember this, there is no way, it is impossible to gain wisdom, to be grounded, to appreciate life unless you have really suffered. Because if someone is born in the lap of luxury wealth with a silver spoon up their ass, I mean, what would they know about suffering, about hunger, about failure, about being alone? So it's only through our mistakes and failures. So, by the way, if you see me looking at the screen, it's because I've just written my notes, which I don't want to miss out any important points. So the the solutions that I give them is based on person to person. Okay, there is no one size fits all. There's no one size fits all. Although there are universal bits, like you have to find out what makes you happy. You have to be realistic. See, these are universal. Like find out what you really want. Be practical. Stop fooling yourself. Because let's say, for example, I have this 40-plus-year-old client, and she came to me, she booked a session, and she told me her goals were to be a Victoria's Secret model. I've made a video on this before. She wanted to be a Victoria's Secret model. She wanted to be richer than Oprah. She wanted to star with The Rock in a movie, because she was already a not celebrity, like a media person. She starred in a few uh, low budget movies, and she was like the face of advertising. Her face was uh, plastered on the walls of many brands. So this is what she wanted. But I told her it's impossible. And you might say, Loy, come on, Stop putting your limitations. Well, she was 40 plus. She was based in India. She had just visited USA once or twice. So at the age of 40 plus, being an Indian with no experience in Hollywood, you think she's going to be bigger than Oprah? You think she's going to star with The Rock? Come on, man. Be realistic. And she hardly had, forget millions, she hardly had $100,000 in a bank. What is she going to be, a billionaire? So one has to be realistic. So these, some of the bits that I've written down for men and women. Okay. See, with men, what I advise them or what I suggest or what they have to reflect on is, number one is, by 40, you have to reevaluate your career. That is without saying. You have to be realistic. Where can I move next, or how far can I move next from here? Because if you're just a manager, you can't think of being a CEO. You can fool the world and you can fool yourself. Like I told you, in my previous video, one guy who I've known him from being a sales executive, I suddenly got this LinkedIn update that he's a CEO of a group. And I was like, whoa, 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 what the hell happened here? Like, I've known him. He was, he's just an average guy, but with a massive ego. So, and he put his name of the company that he's a CEO of this company. I Google searched the company. I couldn't even find it on Google. Okay, it's not that he was bluffing. Yes, he did get a client because I spoke to his wife. Both of them were my clients. Both of them, that time, they were. So the wife said, yeah, it's a legit company. And then she gave me the website. I couldn't even get the website. The website link that was put there was also wrong. So she gave me the proper website. And then when I checked the website, it was all generic stuff and stock images, like, and very cliche copy paste content of, vision, mission, and vague stuff. And in fact, he being a CEO, there was no like contact us or our team. Even his name was not there. But he got this contract to be a CEO of this brand new company, hardly maybe any employees. Maybe there is none. Maybe there were two, three, four, maybe an office boy, maybe a driver. And so the point I'm saying is, like, you need to really reevaluate your career. You can fool people by, or you can literally, like in Dubai, you can get a visa and register a company in less than 20 minutes to 1 hour. Seriously, you can register a company. Let's say I want to take up a new company. I can take Maximilian Incorporated, for example, and I can put managing director, Loy Machedo. In fact, I'd done this when LinkedIn started. I put founder and CEO of LoyMachedo.com. So what the hell does that mean? It means nothing. I did that because, that time when I was new on LinkedIn and LinkedIn had just started, and you would get all kinds of advice. Hey, if you position yourself as successful and CEO with big titles and big designations, why do you think even today on LinkedIn, a person will literally put all the talent acquisition specialist, growth catalyst, thought provoker, TEDx speaker, mother, and spouse, and animal lover, and foodie, and what not nonsense they will put. But if you actually check what they're doing, it's just a bloody maybe executive for a company. But the way they put their designation is like as if bloody hell Elon Musk, has appointed them. So one is, you have to be realistic about your career. That is the most important thing, because end of the day, why do you go to work? You go to work to make money, to earn money, to pay your bills. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is, I think for men, the question about, the balance between, your dreams, what you want to achieve, versus, how much you will provide for the family. Because remember, most of the men, if you're married, your children have to go to college, and college is not cheap. It might come up to, in some cases, if you see the whole aggregate, might come to nearly $500,000. I don't know whether you want to take dollars or whatever. So how much does the father support there? How much does he save? Number three is, this is the most visible one, is physical transformation. They change their diet, They try to start exercise. They will go for walks because they know that physically they've become this pot-bellied guy who has a big stomach and they can't even walk, and they keep huffing and puffing. And many of them, when they go for a medical checkup, they realize they have cholesterol, blood pressure, heart-related elements, diabetes, and joints pain, and all. So they have to change their lifestyle. And that is where the next part comes in, where they start taking supplements or they'll undergo surgery, whether it can be, fat removal, whatever, or literally they have to undergo like teeth or joints or knee replacement or, something or another, cartilage. And there are so many things. And especially with, men who have been sports people, for them, the wear and tear is quite high. And then you get the emotional aspect. I told you, there are some people who are very bitter. Um, it's like they're bitter and sad because the dreams that they had is now they have to give it up. And it's a very painful thing. Let me tell you, giving up on your dreams is very, very painful. It's easy to say be practical, be grounded, be realistic, but it hurts, giving up on your dreams. I have gone through that phase where I had to give up on things that I really wanted or people. uh, you end up crying and it takes you time to recover from that. And then I think the following one comes, you reevaluate relationships, whether it's your spouse or friends. Mostly it is friends and relatives. You start evaluating, is it worth being with them? Am I wasting time? And you value your time much more. Like I told you about me, I don't go for movies. I don't want to go out. In fact, even if I do go out, it's with my wife and kid. But there also, it's like I want to go fast and come back fast. And sometimes I have to force myself to take once a week off. And it's so ironic, even though I'm with them 24/7. And last but not the least, for men, it is the quest to find meaning. Like some of them go on this spiritual journey where they start going to church more or pray to their gods or go to the mosque, or they do charity more, or they are more kind to others. Or some of them might even adopt a pet, like cat or dog or whatever. So this is with men. With women, what I've realized is the most important is women have to be realistic. If they're not married, they're not going to get a partner. Relationships, they don't want to just have someone for sex and adventure. And I think, especially with the married women, they tend to be realistic about career versus family. Okay, how much more? And many of them I've personally known where women refuse to take up more senior job roles, even if they get a promotion, because they want to spend the time with their family. They say, what am I going to do with more money? What am I going to do spending more time in the office? I might as well spend time with my family and kids. That is, if they have a fulfilling married life or fulfilling life with their children. However, if it's a very Western template where children go and do their own thing and husband is doing his own thing, they spend more time in the office. Okay, one is being realistic, and second point, which I told you, is family and career. Number 3 that I've written here is, this one is a biggie. The physical changes. Women, their health, very sensitive. Okay, from their periods to their blood work. And it's, in fact, I tell men, just imagine the females, their private part. If you actually look at the private part, it's actually an open wound. It's an open wound of their body where literally, it's like having a big hole in your body, like think a flesh wound where you can see the arteries, the capillaries, the bone, everything. So women have very sensitive health. That is why they have to go to a gynecologist, they have to take medicines if they eat something or their hormones are up, down. It's very difficult being a woman. Very, very difficult, very, very challenging. That's why, women grow up faster from girls. Girls have more maturity than men because boys, for them, you can, I say this often, a boy can have sex with, or a man can have sex with uh, 20 females, not be worried. A female, she has sex with even one, the chances of her being pregnant is there. It's never the guy, it's always the girl. And that is why society has this thing that A guy can be with 20 females and they are cool about it, but girl, more than one, they talk bad. So, so females also undergo the physical transformation that is, um, their breasts are no longer firm, or their body, before they could get in shape easy, now it's very hard. And if they are a parent or they have children, once you give birth, it's like something has come out of your body and you have cut your body. It no longer remains the same. My wife, because she has been breastfeeding the baby, her breasts have been sagging. I've literally witnessed it, and for me, it was like, she was feeling upset and depressed about it. I said, "See, listen, it's a part of life." She was saying it looked like a grandmother's breast. I said, "Just once you stop breastfeeding the baby, which she has stopped now," I said, "Give it time; it'll heal." She has stretch marks because she gave birth. Just about one kid and stretch marks. And now she has changed her diet. I've kind of told her what to eat, what to do, and so she's trying hard. But it's such an incredible transformation that I personally had to witness after she gave birth, and it's a woman who takes the brunt of all this. So women, they undergo a physical transformation which is unbelievable. That's why if you see a girl who's young and is not married, and there is that youthfulness, freshness, there's that innocence. Don't mind me using the word freshness. I'm saying it from a context of like that innocent childlike appearance that they have. But once they get married, they have children, and stress especially. That is why women, they lose hair so much, or they gain weight a lot, or their hormones. It's so unfortunate, and it's so terrible when you see some of them go through thyroid issues. The amount of weight that they put. One of my ex-girlfriends, I mean, she she was hardly in her like 60s, like 60 kilos, or 50s, in that range. She's literally gone up to, I think, 90 or 100. I mean, she is so depressed, so depressed. Like, she doesn't talk to anyone, want to meet anyone. It's terrible. Like, what do you do about all this? Okay, then apart from that, obviously health they tend to become more insecure. One is because they're no longer young, they're no longer attractive. Yeah, you can convince yourself, yeah, I still look immaculate, I look classy. But let's face it, you're not a young female anymore. So that is where they tend to be insecure. And obviously, men, they still keep producing testosterone. So um, it's a very sad situation where a female, especially if she got married with a guy at a very young age, sex reduces. He will be distracted to younger looking females. He'll hardly be attracted to her. There's less romance. There is more like being a friend. So they do feel insecure that, oh, okay, sex is not there. And then obviously, children that you have taken care of, they are going to start going to college and be busy with their world. So they end up in a place where they wonder, I'm so lonely. What do I do? So that is why you see many women adopting cats or dogs, or doing charity, or helping children, or training, mentoring others. They take up something or another. Then I think this part is the most painful. It is the expectations of society, the rules, the aging standards, beauty standards, career standards, and being compared. That's even more worse. That is why if you see, there are some. I literally see these females who I've known, slightly like my age or elder to me. They are going to nightclubs and they're still trying to rub shoulders with the elite. They try to wear clothes that they wore 20 or 30 years ago, and you see them and you ask yourself, like, what are you doing? You're no longer a young baby, like you're trying to pose and you're trying to hold with your friends. You you are aged, you're fat, you're put on weight, you're no longer young. What are you trying to do? So it's because of the pressure that they have between, and if they see their friend who is their age but looking much more better than them, it kind of kills them, no? And then there are these emotional roller coasters up and down where they just don't know who to go, where to go. In fact, some of them, even nowadays, they are seeking that love, the attention, and which is why they take out social media, or some of them take on a business, or even worse, They, seek new relationships, which becomes a very big challenge. Some have even tried, like, because I have clients, I know this, they have taken on old hobbies or interests which they gave up, and they want to find a sense of fulfillment there. And last but not the least, they move into the spiritual realm where they try to do more for others or the unfortunate ones, or they pray to God. So, see, these are the strategies that men and women tend to use. Um, Finally, what is the area that I would caution anybody, okay, including my clients, which I've told them, especially men and women. See, I've written down these points. Maybe all of them will not be applicable to you, but definitely one or two. Okay, one is, I think, taking the wrong decision just because you're getting older, and by that I mean, some people feel that, okay, I'm going to retire. Why do you want to take on a retirement? Why don't you let it happen? Just continue working, no? Some of them believe, oh, I need to quit a job. Oh, I need to start this business venture. Oh, when will I do it? If not now, then when? Yeah, if not now, then when? But there's a risk attached to it, and the risk is failure. And with failure comes a very expensive price. And I think one of the disastrous ones is when they take on a new relationship, be it business or be it personal. Just because it looks nice, remember, there's always a honeymoon phase. That is one. But I think the most important bit is the cost of failure. Sometimes it'll cost you much more than you can ever imagine. And that is why I see it here, especially in this part of the world. Many, many men from the West, the UK, US, Australia, they come here to start a business. They open up a bar or they open up a pub. Very common with Brits, Australians, Americans. They'll open up a bar or open up a pub or open up a restaurant with zero experience in business. And they put all their retirement money or their chunk of their savings only for it to completely, lose everything. So it's terrible. The second one is the physical transformation that people do. Yeah, if you're doing exercise, fine. If you're doing proper this, but if you undergo surgeries, I've known in some cases where they've even had death. I know one person, at least one. He went for a fat loss this thing, and he died on the operation table. And what is unfortunate is he was a millionaire. He was a guy who started from scratch, became a millionaire, and he died just trying to become slim. Then the other one is, which I tend to see in my WhatsApp group, is the bitterness that some people have who are in their 60s. You can clearly feel it, that they have massive regret and they are bitter. Whether it's time wasted or mistakes that they have made, what can you do about it? Then there is the aspect of giving up. Some people just throw their hands up and say, and I just quit. I can't do it anymore. Yeah, you have to be realistic about giving up on your dreams, but don't have the loser kind of attitude. There is much more that life can offer you. Um, the other bit is, given the fact there's new technology, like even some 50-year-olds find it very difficult to deal with smartphones. Some of them can't understand the new computers that come out. In fact, I got back to gaming, PC, computer gaming, after nearly, I think, 10 or 15 years. I was pretty shocked, taken aback as to there is something called RGB. And I was like, what is this RGB for? Like, lights. You have this PC, the olden days PC had a CRT monitor and I don't know, cream colored machine that would make all these sounds. And you have you had an internet modem that had, all that funny sounds. So obviously, I know that it's no longer the same. But I was very shocked to see a gaming PC that had glass on one side, where you'd see the fan moving with colors, and even memory chips had colors. Everything had colors. I was like, since when did RGB come? In fact, when the sales guy asked me, so do you want this to have RGB, that to have RGB? I said, what is RGB? Why do you need RGB? He looked at me as if I was a dinosaur, because even the mouse has RGB. Some people have keyboards have RGB. Some even the mouse pads have RGB, and it's all coordinated sometimes. So it seems that lighting really helped. And the point I'm trying to make here is the new generation, they changed so much. I was not in touch with the gaming. I was in for a shock. So there are a lot of people who are not in touch with technology or the competition that is there in other organizations, other countries. They tend to be very shocked, very, very shocked. And yes, that comes to the next point, that is competition. I mean, it's crazy, man. Every single day, there are new people who are coming and competing with you. If you are not up to date, you'll be obsolete, man. And the final this thing for men is, I think most of the men, they are so confident, and that confidence comes from the past successes, that when they experience a failure after failure after failure, they get so bitter about it, they don't want to seek professional help. That is why many clients who are above their 50s, when they get in touch with me, they have this thing where they say, you don't know what I achieved and what I accomplished, and you're not born when I started all this, so don't teach me. Well, you'll get outdated very soon, my friend. So, in terms of women, I think the first one is where depression really hits them, and they try to convince themselves that no, it's fine. They don't deal with the issue. Like, imagine you're in a marriage relationship where the husband, you know, it is not working, or the husband doesn't love you, or he might even have another girlfriend, but you're failing to face facts. In fact, some of them, even though they know all this, they'll still stay in the relationship because they don't have an option. And it's not easy to tell them, have self respect, walk off from the relationship. They can't reinvent themselves at 50 or 60, man. Then some of them literally dedicate their lives to taking care of their children and their husbands. And now they feel like, very afraid. What will I do next? And especially if the children now move on with their lives, then they're left with a husband. So they try to make it work. Then overemphasis, I think this one is very common, especially on social media. The overemphasis on physical appearance, wanting to still look hot, still look attractive, and still be relevant, which is really sad. Huh? I'll tell you that. And it's, I mean, being a female, it is so tough, especially when you're being compared to others. The Botox, the surgeries, the literally every body part, your cheek, your chin, your nose, your lips, your forehead, your I mean, you become more like a Frankenstein. And if you see some of the people with their surgeries, you clearly can make out like, sheesh, man, you went for a surgery. Why do they do that? Because they are afraid that, in the corporate world that they're in, they'll be compared to the younger ones, and they give a lot of emphasis on their physical appearance. For many women, many, looking young, staying young, being relevant, they still want it. That's what I told you, Madonna, why she is doing all these crazy stuff. And last, if not the least, I think trying too hard to please their husband, please their children, please the workforce, please society. The question is, then, where do you please yourself? Where do you keep yourself happy? What do you do? So these are my thoughts with regards to a midlife crisis and the challenges that people face and the solutions that I've recommended for some of the people. What do you think? Let me know what are your thoughts. And especially if I think if you're in, move from your 30s towards 35, from 35 onwards is where these questions or these challenges or these perceptions come into play. So let me know if you are past 35, or what are you going through, how are you dealing with it, and if you're young, just let me know what do you think of the points that I shared. Maybe you can give me a perspective of anyone in your family or anyone that you know, and it's always worth a read. All right, good, bad, ugly, comment down below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.